Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my December TBR, and on my channel we play a game called Roll the Dice with a Dash of Chaos. Before we go into picking what books I'm to read in December, we have to recap how I did in November and whether I deserve a punishment prompt. I'm sure you're not surprised if you did watch my November TBR, which I will link up in the cards if you missed it. Not only did I film and upload that well into the month of November, but my game was extremely mean to me, so I have not read a lot of the books on that list, but hoping for a better month of December. But let's quickly go through them. Roll number 1 was a mood read, and I did read a book that wasn't on my list, so that is a win. Roll number 2 was Brutal Conquest, and I have not yet gotten to this. Roll number 3 was Doubles, so I did have a challenge. The book was The Frontrunner by Elsie Silver that I read on my Kindle. I did read that. The punishment book, however, was Pines by Blake Crouch, and I did not get to this. Roll number 4 was Doubles again, and that challenge was to start over or add 5 more rolls to my TBR, and the book that was chosen was Malice by John Gwynne, this big chunky guy. My goal was to read half of this in November and the other half in December, as I am joining in on the Catch Up Book Club by Becca and the Books, and they are reading the Faithful and the Fallen series. The live show is the beginning of January, but I did not start this. But this is a reread for me, so I'm not overly intimidated on getting started back into this world. I'm actually really looking forward to it, but didn't read it. Spy Family Volume 7, I did not read. The Awakening, another reread, didn't read. The House on the Cerulean Sea, I did not read. Another Kindle pick, The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. I'm 70% of the way through that. That roll was double. And the challenge book for that was Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. I did not read this, and I also didn't read the final book, which was Project Hail Mary. The last 2 months, they've been rough. Let me know if you want me to do an October and November reading wrap up. I skipped October, so if you want to see what books I read in October and November, let me know before I film my monthly reading wrap up. As I'm sure is very clear, I did not complete my November TBR by far. Very bad. I know, I definitely deserve a punishment prompt, so that is enough rambling from me. We are doing 5 rolls in the month of December, bar any extra rolls that I get as challenges with doubles. We shall see. I will be pulling a punishment prompt before we get started, but that's enough rambling from me. Let's head over to set up my game for Roll the Dice with a Dash of Chaos. All right, it is time to set up the final Roll the Dice with a Dash of Chaos for the year 2024. Here are the books I have picked to choose from, but first we need to place the Kindle hard prompts and easy prompts. Let's do Kindle first. In spot number 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the bin of easy prompts in spot number 4, 2, 3 right here. And lastly, the bin of hard prompts is going in spot number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, to kick things off, we are pulling a challenge as our punishment. That's 2. Unhaul a book. All right, roll number 1. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Malice is going back on. Roll number 2. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is my Kindle. Roll number 3. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 by 1 by Ruth Ware. Roll number 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pines by Blake Crouch. There we go. All right, roll number 5, final roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hard prompt. A reread. Oh. None of these are rereads. I'm stealing another book off of my November TBR, and we're going to add The Zodiac Academy, the first book. We are back. Thank God the game was finally nice to me. I think this is the one and only time in 2 years that this game has been nice. We had no doubles. We had no extra rolls. So if I don't complete my December TBR, I should just quit making TBRs, I feel like, because this is just such a perfect small TBR that should be achievable. To kick it off, the punishment I pulled was I must unhaul a book. So I had a look at my bookshelves. What books am I constantly skipping over? I really don't think I'm ever actually going to pick up. And I chose The Cutting Edge by Jeffrey Deaver. This was passed down to me by my father-in-law. He reads a lot of these crime novels, and I am actually interested in the Lincoln Rhyme series. It just sounds like something I might enjoy, but perhaps more in TV format. I do like crime shows, but I don't really pick up crime novels. I much prefer like a standard thriller or fantasy or romance, you know, etc., etc. It's late, I'm stumbling over my words. However, looking on Goodreads, this is book number 14. I know with these types of series, a lot of people don't read them in order. However, I just really prefer to read books in the order that they were written in, or series in the order that they were written in, even if it's not explicitly necessary. So that's a lot of talking to say I will be getting rid of this book. And then we get into roll number 1, which was once again Malice by John Gwynne, which thank goodness this is put on the official TBR. I did not get to it to read the first half in November as I intended, but if this didn't get rolled in with my regular rolls, it would have been an additional read, because I do need to read this in the month of December so that I can be on track with the Catch-Up Book Club by Becca and the Books. There have been so many series that they have read that I have wanted to participate in, namely the Realm of the Elderlings series, but I just couldn't keep up with their schedule. And this is going to be a reread for me, and I love this series. I've read the first 2 books, and they're going to read the entirety of The Faithful and the Fallen and then the series that follows after, and I just want to maintain the pace with the book club. So this is an epic grimdark fantasy, lots of Norse mythology. We have a prophecy of like good versus evil, lots of war, giant creatures. I really love this series. There's a lot of found family, animal companions, so many tropes that I love. It's a very chunky book, but it's actually not that intimidating once you get into it, and the font is actually pretty big. So they always intimidate me to pick them up just because they look so huge, but then I read through them very quickly. And as this is a reread, I'm not too worried about it. It is 630 pages though, but first book on my December TBR. For roll number 2, I got my Kindle, and now I haven't picked a specific book yet because there's just so many options. I'm currently buddy reading the Under the Mistletoe Kindle Unlimited series with book bestie Sam. I do want to read some holiday romances in December. They always just make me feel good and get in the holiday spirit. My friend Emma and I are also going to be buddy reading 25 Days by Per Jacobson, which is a Christmassy horror advent calendar book. It's 25 chapters, you read one a day, and the chapter titles are like December 1st. You read on December 1st, so I will be reading that on my Kindle. And there's so many other holiday romances, so I'm not picking one specifically, but a holiday themed Christmassy Kindle Unlimited book is going to be my role number 2. Role number 3 was One by One by Ruth Ware. I've read a few of Ruth Ware's novels so far, and they've been hit or miss for me. I just read The Turn of the Key and I really did enjoy that one, and I thought adding a wintry thriller would be a good idea to have on my list. This is obviously very similar to the Agatha Christie. Is that also called One by One? No. And Then There Were None? Is that what I'm thinking of? Anyways, people get picked off one by one. It's a wintry thriller. I thought having this as a bit of a palate cleanser would be a good idea. Role number 4 is another thriller, but this one is a sci-fi thriller. I once again put on Pines by Blake Crouch because I really wanted to get to this in November, and I did have to borrow this from my library, so I need to read it anyways. And I realized a flaw in my game. While the intention is to focus on my physical TBR, I have not stopped borrowing books from the library, and I'm always reading my library holds and ignoring my physical TBR so that I can return these so that they can go to the next person. So if you noticed, when we are playing the game, there are quite a number of library holds within my lineup of books, which I typically don't do, and I'm hoping that that will help me along as well. So Pines is, we are following Secret Service agent Ethan Burke, who arrives in Wayward Pines, Idaho. He is there to investigate a crime, and I obviously don't know what this sci-fi element is. I feel like that will be a big reveal within this book and it might be a spoiler, but for some reason he cannot leave this town. There's something very suspicious going on in Wayward Pines and he's kind of stuck there. The tagline on the front says, "One road in, no road out." So I think this is going to be a fun read. I've wanted to get to the series for so long, like I said, and I have to get to it in December. I can't believe we're at the end already. Role number 5, I got the prompt reread, which I was a little bit stumped for a moment because Malice is already a reread for me, and I had nothing else set out on my game that would be a reread for me. So once again, another book I stole from my November TBR, and honestly, probably my October TBR as well, is The Awakening. I so desperately want to reread this book and then continue on with the series, but I keep getting distracted. So hopefully, since there's only 5 books on my stinking TBR, I can finally reread this and hop in on the Zodiac Academy hype, see if I can get into it. The first time I read this, I really didn't enjoy it that much. I had quite a number of problems with it, but so many people have said you just need to get through the first 2 or 3 books and then it's really great and engaging and keeps you sucked in, and I'm hoping to finally get to that point. But this is kind of a trashy romantasy that I'm really looking forward to hopping back into. And I can't believe that that concludes my December TBR. Not very Christmassy. We have 2 rereads on here, 2 thrillers, and I'm going to read a holiday themed book on my Kindle at least, but I feel really confident that I will be able to read this stack of books and I'm really looking forward to it. These 5 books should also allow me some room to mood read a bit and have some buddy reads with my friends, which is exactly what I need. I'm really optimistic. I also feel like we have a good variety. We do have a wintry thriller, a sci-fi thriller, a romantasy, an epic fantasy, and then a Christmassy novella most likely on my Kindle. So hopefully I don't get bored or fall into a reading slump, but that is enough from me today. Let me know in the comments below what book you think I should read first, and also what you plan on reading in the month of December. And if you enjoyed today's TBR, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!